Hello and welcome to your complete guide to the 11 Plus Part 4 with me, Marion from Confident Learners. I'm going to share with you today our Confident Learners methodology, which is basically how we teach children. And that is rooted in many, many years of experience in the classrooms. Okay, so all of our teachers are fully qualified and very experienced. I've been teaching for well over 20 years now, and I just want to share with you some of our professional tips, advice, wisdom that we've picked up over the years. I'm also going to share with you how we help children at Confident Learners to pass their 11 plus by building their confidence and ensuring that they achieve the very best of their potential. Okay, so I'm going to show you exactly what our signature 11 plus mastery course for year 4 and 5 children is all about as well. So let's get going because this is going to be a slightly longer video than the other ones, but there's just so much information in it. So our Confident Learners methodology, as I said, rooted in many, many years of teaching experience. And you can apply this to your teaching at home. But the most important thing to realize is that teaching is only part of it. The actual teaching is only a small section of your child's success, basically. Success depends on other things as well. And I've put here mindset at the top because mindset, growth mindset, as it's often termed, is basically giving the child confidence so that they can have a go, so that they will try. And if they don't try, they simply won't succeed. But if they do try, they have this confidence and they give things a go, then they will succeed. Okay, so that is the most important thing. It's mindset. And it's what one of our core values is. It's why we're called Confident Learners. We ensure that every child boosts their confidence, builds confidence, grows confidence, so that they are willing to give anything a go in their education and also in life. Now, I'll just shift down to the bottom here because at the bottom, the environment is also really, really important. Now, the reason you are going for an independent or a grammar school is because you recognize that the environment that your child learns in is vital to their success. They need to work in a safe, fun, and productive working environment with a small group of other children on the same path, okay, like-minded children. And that's why you want them to go to one of these selective schools so that they can be with other children just like them. They need to learn in that environment. The environment needs to be right. Now, like the jam in a sandwich, the teaching is crucial. It's right in the middle there. It is. And you can do it at home, but it is a profession. And really, if you're going to seek outside help, then you should really look for qualified, experienced and expert 11 plus tutors who can teach, challenge and support your child every step of the way. Now, there are lots of tutors available. It's a totally unregulated business, but please look for qualified teachers who've spent time in the classrooms because they're the ones who are going to know exactly how to tailor the learning for your child specifically. Okay, anybody can give a child a worksheet. Anybody can give a child a CGP book, but not everybody can actually teach a child in a way that every child will understand. All right, so it's really important that teaching is, if you are going to get some help from outside, that teaching is done by experienced teachers and also those that have done the 11 plus before, because it is a different exam and it's not just the Key Stage 2 curriculum. There's a lot more to it than that. So there we have it. Those three things, we have the sweet spot in the middle. Now, I'll just quickly go over the mindset because this is such an important part of what we do at Confident Learners. So how you grow your growth mindset. Growth mindset, coined by a lady called Carol Dweck, D-W-E-C-K, who is an American psychologist, and she coined this phrase, the growth mindset, the flip side of that being the fixed mindset. And she speaks to very specifically the child's mindset and how this word yet can be absolutely vital in changing their mindset. So if your child is saying sort of fixed mindset things like, I can't do it, it's too difficult, I give up, I can't be bothered, that's a very fixed mindset. I can't do it yet is a much more growth mindset way of talking to a child. So no, you can't do it yet, but how about we practice it and then we will be able to do it? Or, you've done brilliantly with this piece of writing. You've included paragraphs and speech marks and things, but it's just not quite got these sentence openers could be that little bit better. So you're always striving. I think I mentioned it in a previous video for you. Always striving to ensure your child is trying to do better than they are doing. That is a growth mindset. Okay. And I just love this quote. My grandfather gave it to me, actually, well, taught me it when he was a prep school master as well. And he always said they can because they think they can. And Virgil is not my grandfather, but he was a philosopher, and about children, they can because they think they can. Your child will succeed if they believe in themselves. Simple as that. The environment that we provide is interactive small groups online, but very small groups and very interactive groups. So the children talk to each other sometimes, but usually to the teacher, ask questions, answer questions, very interactive. So therefore, lots of collaboration. There's some healthy competition between the children. They love a bit of that. So the odd little game and things. They feel that they belong. They feel that they are part of a group. Now, if your child is maybe the only one in their class at school that's going for a selective school, then they might feel like, why am I the only one having to do all this extra work? When they're in a small group, then they feel like they belong. They also get lots of support and affirmation from their teachers. Education, I break down into 3 separate parts when we're teaching, and we plan this to go through every single lesson. So all of our teachers work to this sort of ideology, if you like, the goal that we have, the core values we have. And the first one is mindset, as I've already spoken about. So we make sure that goes through every single lesson. And you can do the same at home, creating a positive growth mindset and building the confidence to achieve the child's full potential. We then have to ensure that academically the foundations are in place. So that's in English and maths, but you can apply it to verbal and non-verbal as well. We need to identify and improve those knowledge gaps. So we do check that the foundations are in place, like the spelling, the grammar, the times tables, the mental maths, and all of the foundations on fractions or comprehension. You know, some of those core skills that your child will have learned in year 3 and 4, they need to be absolutely firm, because then we can build on those to accelerate the 11 plus curriculum. Now, identifying those gaps is part of the process. There will be gaps, there always are, it's totally normal, but we do need to make sure that those gaps are filled before we then apply the next level, which is the 11 plus curriculum. And then that needs to be accelerated. So as I've said before, if you've watched the other videos, we're up against a time frame here. You've got to get the year 5 and year 6 and some of year 7 curriculum finished by before the end of year 5, so that you can allow June, July, August for exam preparation before those exams at the beginning of year 6. But it's not just about teaching as well, it's also about this word apply. They have to be able to apply their knowledge to 11 plus questions. So all of that is part of the teaching. So as I said, it's not about just giving the child a worksheet or a book to work through. You have to make sure that all of these things are in place so that you can teach your child effectively. I hope that helps. Now, if you would like to join us at Confident Learners, we can do all of that for you. We do have our signature 11 plus mastery courses for year 4 and year 5. Now, these have been going for a few years now. We have had lots of success, lots of very happy parents and very happy children. They are very carefully planned, and I'm going to tell you all about them because we are now open for registration for this September. And if you're joining us later in the year, then please do also get in touch, because whilst the beginning of the year is the best time to join, then we also have vacancies going through as well. So here's a little bit about our mastery courses. Now, they're the same for year 4 and 5, but we do teach them separately with different curriculums. Okay, curricula, I should say. But they both have 1 hour of maths and 1 hour of English in interactive live lessons with your teacher, who knows your child. By the time they've had a few lessons, they'll get to know your child, and they know your child inside out, and they will teach them just like they do in the classroom. All right, 1 hour of English, 1 hour of maths. Now, within those lessons, we also teach VR and NVR, so everything is covered. Then on a Saturday, we have an optional support session, again, separate for year 4 and year 5, where you would book in and tell the teacher what it is that you would like specific help with based on the previous lessons. So it's not a replay of the week's lesson. It is just to say, well, you know, Johnny was struggling with the homework this week. Could you just go through question 3 with him, please? Yeah. So that's one thing. The phone's ringing. I'm going to ignore it. So that's 1 hour of optional Saturday support sessions. So altogether, you have the option, if you like, to come to 3 sessions a week, but they're separate. They're not just one big 3-hour session on a Saturday, maybe one on you can choose your sessions, but we have sessions on Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, and then the Saturday morning one. Okay. And we run all the way through the year. So we start at this September the 9th, week beginning, and we go all the way through to this time next year, the end of the holidays next year. So we're going, our current year 5s will finish on the 6th of September, and then they'll be ready for their exams. They're doing exam preparation at the moment, and our year 4s will continue into year 5. Okay, so that's what we do. We just take 1 week off for Christmas. Sorry, I'll try and speed this up. We do set homework. We absolutely believe that homework is vital for consolidation and for practicing that independent work and for monitoring and assessment as well. So we do set homework, and it's very clear on the portal what it is and how to submit it and everything, but there should be about 1 hour of maths and 1 hour of English each week. There will be extension work for those who are flying, and there will be support work for those who might be struggling in a certain topic. And we assess at the end of every topic anyway. And there's constant monitoring and regular feedback to you as parents. If you submit the homework, the teachers mark it and they send it back to you with recommendations of what you can work on and how your child is doing. The only thing we ask you to do at home, so you wouldn't be expected to do the homework with them or for them, obviously, but we would expect you to read with your child regularly every day, read with them, not just let them read, because it's for comprehension things, it's really important that your child reads to you so that you can assess their understanding and comprehension. Spellings, vocab, practicing times tables, mental maths, all of that is a sort of daily chore that can be done in the car, in quiet afternoons on a walk, whatever. All right, so those are just a little bit of extra. And we present all of this to you in a safe, secure environment. Okay, the student portal is behind a password. We are all DBS checked as teachers, and we are all trained in safeguarding and keeping children safe in education. So we're very well aware of the dangers of online learning, of online interaction, but we keep it very, very safe, and you can't get at it unless you've got the password, basically. But inside there, every lesson has its own objectives, resources, and homework. A little bit of extra if you need it, and a replay, so that if you do miss a lesson, and a lot of people ask me this, what happens if we can't make the lesson or they're ill? The lesson will go ahead anyway, but it will be recorded and you can catch it up in your own time. And then just to clarify, we definitely do exam preparation. So towards the end of year 5, we will start niching down on your child's exam board. So whether they're doing GL, ISEB, CSSE or FCSE, etc. And we will make sure that you get access to the right kind of exams all the way through June, July and August, so that there's lots and lots of practice, lots of feedback, so that you can work on your weaknesses, you can build up speed and accuracy. If you are doing independent school exams, then we do carry on through December. If you would like to, that's you don't have to, but we stop. The main course stops at the beginning of September, and then if you'd like to carry on, we do provide for year 6 candidates for the ISCB and independent schools. So what makes Confident Learners special? Well, first of all, I'm terribly proud of the expert teachers that we have working on the team. We're tiny, we're only a small team of about 5 or 6 teachers. But every single one of those is not only fully qualified, but also very experienced. So they know exactly what individual children need and how to teach them. They will communicate directly with you about your child, so you always know how your child is doing. And they know their subject inside out, but they also know how to teach it effectively, which is very important. It's all very well having a degree in Oxford in engineering, but can you teach maths to an 11 plus to a 9-year-old? Very different skills. And they make sure that your child's confidence is boosted in every lesson. And importantly, they make learning fun. So your child wants to join every week. Now, our children do want to join every week. We have a lot of parents telling us how much their children enjoy the lessons and how they want to come along. They never have any arguments and any sort of battles when the lessons come up each week. And really importantly, they genuinely care about your child so that they feel seen, heard and valued. Because we're dealing with individual people here. Every single child is important to us, and we make sure that we're helping each one. Over the years, just between those sort of 5 or 6 teachers, we've got over 100 years of experience. Renee, our head tutor, has been teaching for 35 years, and the others have been teaching for between 10 and 20 years. So they're all old hats, so they can advise and support you every step of the way. We're available on email for any questions you might have at any stage of the process. I do support you through the applications process. I ask you to tell me exactly which schools you're going for, and I help you with catchment areas and application processes and things like that if you would like it. And then we have endless resources. So as teachers, we collect all the resources that we use over the years, and so we've always got something that we can share with you to keep your child's learning varied and tailored. It's not just a workbook that you work through. So just to recap, maths lesson each week, English lesson each week, optional support session, 3 lessons a week if you want them all. Verbal and non-verbal all included, expert experienced tutors, homework and assessment throughout, and exam preparation at the end of year 5, including all the practice papers that you might need. Safe, secure online lessons recorded for replay or missed lessons, loads of resources, and importantly, teachers who are kind and caring and communicative, as well as being excellent teachers. So that is what we provide for you, so that your child's confidence is boosted, so they feel good about their learning, and so they can achieve to the very best of their potential and hopefully pass that exam. Well, at the end of the day, we want them to pass their exam, but if they can attack their 11 plus exam papers with confidence, then that is success. They will, if we can provide them with a fundamental understanding of the core foundations of maths and English, way beyond that which they would learn in the classroom, then that will last a lifetime, and that itself is success. And if they feel positive and excited about learning, then that is a success. Imagine how that would be for the rest of their education if they love learning and they want to, they can't wait to do their homework and they want to go to school every day. That's what we do. And the cherry on the top is to pass the 11 plus, which is obviously what we're all aiming for. Just a quick note on what other parents have said, because I know it's always reassuring to hear that other children have been through these things. Let me just, can't really move myself any further. My child, it says under there. So this is lovely Blessing, whose child has been with us since the beginning of year 4, and she's now about to take her exams in end of year 5, beginning of year 6. But she loves to attach a wealth of experienced tutors. She loves to attend the classes. She feels heard, valued. We're grateful to the tutors who believe in her. She's made better progress at school, and I will recommend Confident Learners to learn for any parents who are looking at supporting their child to learn in a secure online learning environment. That's Blessing, whose daughter is currently with us. And I've got another one in a second. So the mindset, teaching and environment, that is how the Confident Learners methodology works. And if you can get some of that into your lessons, there's no reason why you can't do it at home. So let's talk about how the fees structure works. We work on a subscription basis. Now, just to work that out, if we work on a subscription basis of a monthly payment, if you get an average tutor, which is about £40 an hour, qualified, I'm looking at only qualified, you can get them much cheaper than that, but they won't be qualified teachers. You're looking at £40 times 3 times a week, that's about £120 a week, which is £480 a month. That's an average tutor. If you want to step up and go for an in-demand 11 plus tutor, we often charge 60 or more for our one-to-one sessions, just because of our experience and the professionalism and the fact that our teaching is actually from all of our tutors is excellent. That will be approximately £720 a month if you went one-to-one and had those 3 lessons a week. But at Confident Learners, we teach them in small groups, maximum of 10 children in a group. So that is advantageous to your child, because not only do they get to learn in that lovely, secure, friendly, supportive learning environment, but it's also advantageous to you because it's a lot cheaper. So our monthly subscription for all of those lessons is just £250 per month. 12 lessons a week, all the homework set and marked, experienced qualified teachers, personal support so that your child feels like they are seen and heard and listened to and supported by their teacher. Okay, that's really important. They're not just a number with a workbook to work through. And it's a monthly subscription. But because you're here and you're listening to this, you've made it all the way through to the end of this free guide, I would love to offer you a bit of a discount for the first month. So for the first month, if you'd like to join us and just see how it goes, then it's just £200. So that's a saving of £50 for the first month. Just £200 for the first month. You can come to all 12 lessons if you'd like to, get an idea of the portal, get an idea of the teachers, and see whether or not your child enjoys it. And if they do, we can carry on. It's a month-to-month rolling subscription. Okay, you don't have to sign up for the whole year. I would love it if you did, and most of our children do actually stay. But if you do feel after the first month it's not right for you, then that's no hard feelings whatsoever. But I'd love to have the opportunity to work with your child and just see whether or not we can make a difference. Probably transformational, actually, but we'll just see how it goes. All right. So that's the discount. So for September, you can have it for £200 for the month. But at the end of the day, it's your choice. Is your child up for it? It's your child up for it. That goes back to what I was saying in the beginning videos about whether or not you've had that conversation. Are they ready to give it a go? And are you up for it? Are you ready to embrace that challenge and go for it? Now, challenge is something you should run towards with open arms and go, yes, I want to give it a go. Not only because I want my child to go to one of those schools, but you want to give your child the very best education available so that they can go on to excel in GCSEs, A-levels, university and beyond. Now, that might not include a grammar or an independent school. It'd be amazing if it did, but you are setting your child up for life now. So do you feel confident in doing it yourself? Maybe you do, but you will need some time and you will need some expertise. So if you would like the guidance and support of expert teaching of trained, experienced professional teachers, so that you do have that confidence that your child is learning everything they need to know in the right way, at the right time, and even enjoying it, then we would love to help. Okay, we've had lots of very happy children and parents, and I'm going to show you a couple of testimonials now, but that is the choice that you have to make now. And if you've got any questions at all, I'd love to hear from you. So as I said, a couple of testimonials. This is from Peace, who has not just twin boys who are currently with us, but actually had an older child came with us last year, and he did pass his 11 plus into one of the Southeast London grammar schools. So he did brilliantly, but her twins are now currently in year 5, and they've made tremendous progress since joining Confident Learners. Your patience is second to none. You treat each child as an individual and bring out the best in them. My boys are always happy to come for their lessons, and I see their daily progress. So that's really lovely. It just gives you an idea of what parents are saying about our courses and how much their children are enjoying them. This I had to include because it's just so lovely. It's a personal note from one of our children to their teacher, Renee, who's our head teacher. And she says, "Thank you for being the most amazing Zoom meter teaching that I've ever had for almost a year. Thank you so much for teaching me how to do loads of tricky maths and English. You've been a very nice, gentle, funny teacher ever since you've been teaching me. Every time I don't understand how to calculate or solve a question, you're always being so supportive. I hope you have an incredible time teaching students from Confident Learners and helping them to understand things. Thank you." And that's from a child, not just a parent. So that is really heartwarming to see how much these children love their lessons and appreciate their teachers. And just on the sort of delivery of it, one parent said that the materials, the lessons, the support and all the help exceeded her expectations. The course is well organised and prepared, and you can see that a lot of time and care has been put into it. Marion knows very well what she's doing and how to offer the course in the best possible way. It's not rushed at all. It's perfect. Thank you, Marion. So again, that is the planning. We've done all the planning. We know exactly what to teach and when and how, so that very gently, without stress and without panic, we get your child ready in time for those exams. So that brings me to the end of our complete guide, but you may have questions, and I realize that this is a recorded video and you might want to speak to me in person. So if you would like to book a Q&A session to find out more about the 11 Plus or the Confident Learners Mastery course, then please book a Q&A with me. The link will be in the email, I believe, and just book in. And I'd love to see you. Come and have a chat with me live on Zoom, and we'll see whether or not it's the right fit for your child. But if you can't make one of the sessions online live, please do just email me, and we can either arrange a separate chat or I can answer your questions on email. Thank you so much for joining me for this little guide course video sessions. It's been great to have you along, and well done for getting to the end. Any questions, let me know, and good luck. See you soon.